my thoughts. I shut it down wherever power is stored. Being real is in the past, watching cowards get on. It ain't kill me, so it's making me stronger. And these bite-sized rappers now sensing my heart.
What the hell's going on, people? This is Periodic, and you see the title of the video. We are jumping back into Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle in order to go over who you should choose with your God Dragonstone, aka the Red Dragonstone, which is going to net you a free character out of 30 SSRs, technically 29. One is an Elder Kai, and unless if you have every single one of these guys rainbowed, I'd probably suggest not to get the Elder Kai, because pretty much every single one of these are extremely awakenable characters. Yes, besides the Elder Kai. And there's a lot of value in choosing one of these characters, whether it's for your first time, whether it's a dupe, whether it's to increase a super attack like it is going to be for me. There's a lot of fantastic cards on here, and I kind of arranged them where I'm going to go through the weaker ones first, the ones that I don't necessarily recommend using your God Dragonstone on, and maybe if you've already rainbowed some of the higher end ones, you can use it, and then eventually I'm going to work my way into the middle and then towards the end. This is not necessarily in a numbered order, but it is definitely the beginning of the video is going to go over more of the weaker choices, and then the end of the video is going to deal with more of the better characters, I would say. So if you don't really want to hear about the faults in some of these characters, maybe skip ahead into the second half of the video so I can actually get to like the better cards and whatnot. So there's some good cards in here, guys. Let's start off with some bad cards, okay? So starting off with some bad cards is Uncontrollable Kid Buu. His passive before was terrible. Recovers 12% HP at the start of turn. He's really not that much better now. He gives 14% HP at the start of turn, which is nice, but he does 14% attack and 7% defense per orb obtained, which is okay, but he's a Majin character, so like, let's look for some key links here. Can we find some key links? Nope, we can't. Okay, so he's probably never going to be super attacking. It's just, there's a much better Kid Buu that you can get with your God Dragonstone, and I would definitely recommend rainbowing the other Kid Buu, which is the physical one, which we'll talk about him much later in the video. But this dude is just, you're never going to use him. He's not as good as the intelligence one either. He doesn't hit as hard because he's doing supreme damage. I do believe the intelligence one, I'm almost positive, does immense damage. So he's just kind of wasted, to be honest. There's no spot for him. Moving along, all three Gohans are not particularly good. Ki plus 5, 80% attack, and defense 40% when Ki is 7 or more. These Gohans were some of the early Extreme Z Awakenings, so they weren't really that insane. He's going to do okay attack, and the fact that he gives himself 5 Ki is nice, but to be honest, there's really no great Ultimate Gohans in the game. Like, even the Strength one isn't particularly great. The Intelligence one, the Physical one, the AGL one, none of them are top tier, sadly. So this would be a card that if you have all the top ones rainbowed, then you might want to move on and grab this guy. Same thing with the physical one. And as you can see, this dude does a little bit more. It's a little bit more complicated. So he actually stacks his attack for 6 turns, which isn't bad. He gives himself 3 Ki, 100% attack, gives himself 120% defense, but only when HP is 80% or above. So if you drop below 80% HP, you actually drop your defense as well. His defense drops down to 40%, and then he'll do 1 crit, and then that's it. He would have been pretty strong, actually, if his 120% went down to like 80%, and his crit just stayed. That would have been great, but unfortunately back then, like I said before, they weren't really trying to make Extreme Z characters like top tier. Though I say that, and they come out with Janemba. I don't know what they were thinking. Anyway, we keep going. Another Gohan, AGL Gohan. This is the Family Kamehameha Gohan, or the All in the Family Gohan, whatever you want to call him. 90% attack, defense 40% when performing a super attack. So if he gets hit before he supers, you're pretty much done. And it disables Rampage, which is useless. That's only good for the Broly event. And really, The disabling rampage mechanic is only useful if you are just starting out in this game and you're having a lot of trouble beating Broly events, because most people that have great accounts are going to be able to tank Broly's damage and then just, destroy him. Whereas, hit crits, because the rampage ability makes it so he takes no damage from normal hits, right? Very little damage. But if you crit, then it bypasses it. And most people are going to have a ton of crit in a lot of their characters, so they don't even have to worry about rampage at all. It's more of when you have a starter account that you have to concern yourself with disabling that mechanic, which I remember I did when I was, ranked 40 or whatever, trying to take on that Broly, old Broly event. Anyway, you're just really never going to use this kid, which is too bad, because he's one of the only ones that shares okay links with Goten and Gohan, with some of these links. All right, so let's move along. This Intelligent Cell, unfortunately, there is a better Extreme Z Awakened Cell on this list, and he's just very uninspired. 90% attack and defense, and if you drop below 30% HP, you recover 20% HP. Like, what? That's it? 20%? That's so terrible. Like, why not 50 at the very least? Just very, very strange. Greatly raises attack, but like I said, he's just kind of there. He doesn't really do much. 90% attack and defense. That's basically it. Pass on him. Moving along, we're going to the Strength Broly, not the LR, but the Strength Broly, Extreme Z Awaken. Again, he was one of the first Extreme Z Awakenings. As you can see, he got an Extreme Z Awakening in Japan on December 2017. Attack and defense 80% when attacking. That's about it. He does do an AoE super attack, which is not bad, and he raises his attack for 3 turns, which is okay. He's not as bad as people say. He's just like meh, is really what he is. He's just meh. So yeah, I wouldn't really waste the redstone on him. If we keep going, another AGL, another Gohan, Ultimate Gohan. Attack 100% when ki is 6 or more, defense 120% as long as your HP is 80% or above, defense 40%, then you get that crit if you drop below that. Apply everything I said to the other Ultimate Gohan to this one. Now we have the Super Saiyan Goku. So this one isn't terrible, mainly because he gives himself a buff as long as you're above 30% HP, which you should always be, and you're never really going to linger below 30% HP, so you don't really have to worry about that mechanic there. But he gives himself 3 ki and attack and defense 80% as long as you're above that 30% threshold. Disables rampage. It is what it is. The thing that I do like is that he increases allies attack by 25% when he super attacks. That's actually not bad. And you can pair him next to like the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, the strength one, who also has an easy A, and they can be a really great, buddy duo there, father and son duo, because Gohan gets stronger when he has a Super Saiyan Goku in rotation, and he could facilitate that Super Saiyan Goku, unless, of course, if you have like LR Spirit Bomb Goku, or if you want to risk it with Planetamic Goku and you can get that transformation to go. Sometimes it takes longer than you would like it to, but yeah, he would be a good substitute. So he's not as bad as some of the other ones. He's just not top tier. Keep it pushing. Here's the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Again, an OG. October 2018 is when he got a Z Awakening. He gives himself 40% defense, and he gives himself more and more attack if he's at full health, I believe. So as long as his HP is 80% or above, he gives himself 140% attack, which is not bad. That's actually pretty good. The only unfortunate thing is his defense is stuck at just 40%, so he's going to get hit very, very hard. He's got decent links with Over in a Flash and Super Saiyan, Golden Warrior, Fierce Battle, all that stuff. Supreme Power kind of wonky, but it is what it is. But yeah, again, probably not somebody I would pick up with the Godstone. Android 13, the reason why I put him this low, even though he's got an okay kit, 50% attack and defense, changes tech orbs to rainbow, and he actually gains 3 ki for every rainbow orb he gets. And he also gets stronger if he's on an Android's team. Every Android unit makes him 13% attack and defense stronger. His link kit is fantastic with the AGL Android 13. And since the AGL Android 13 starts in his trucker hat form and not in this merged form, this fused form, they're a perfect duo, really. Unfortunately, that's really the only time you'll run this Android 13. You're not necessarily going to run him that much on like a normal Android team because who you changing the rainbow orbs for? There's really nobody else that links up great with this guy, and that's the reason why he's on the lower end. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, he's okay, 90% attack, 2 ki, 120% defense when ki is 10 or more. He's got decent. Actually, does he even have Royal Lineage, Golden Warrior? Yeah, his links are not particularly great. So actually getting 10 keys is probably going to be a little bit of a struggle. You'll be at 6 from the leader skills, and then you'll need to gain 4 more to go beyond that. The good thing is that when you get to 10 ki, you automatically super attack because he gives himself 2 ki at that point. So that's why he's okay, but he's not fantastic. And a Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, like that looks dope. Not gonna lie, that looks cool. Majin Buu Evil, unfortunately, he's a little gimmicked. He's good, but he's a little gimmick. He stacks his attack for 6 turns, which is fantastic. I love that. Gives himself 90% attack and defense, and all enemies attack and defense minus 20%. That's huge. I love any character that automatically, without question, lowers attack on an enemy. That's fantastic. If he's facing a Majin Buu Saga enemy, then he has a 50% chance of dodging and launching an additional super attack. Unfortunately, Majin Buu Saga, there's not a ridiculous amount of enemies that you're going to face from that. It's really just Daburas, Vegetos, Goten and Trunks, this Super Saiyan Vegito, right? Majin Vegetas, Mighty Masks, certain Gokus, certain Vegetas, which is typically only Super Saiyan 2 Vegetas, Super Saiyan 2 Gokus type of thing. Super Saiyan 3 Goku, right? But only certain Super Saiyan 3 Gokus. And then the Majin Buus. So, like, there's an certain Gohans too. I guess it's a little bit bigger than I thought it was. But even still, like, how many of these guys are actually bosses? Unfortunately, they don't reuse a lot of these characters for, like, boss fights, right? You see a lot of Goku Black boss fights. You see a lot of, like, Goku in every single arc boss fights, Vegeta boss fights, stuff like that. But you don't really see a lot of Majin Buu boss fights. You don't see a lot of Gohan from this particular arc boss fights, etc., etc. So he's not going to be hitting that often. I am confident that they are going to increase the Majin Buu Saga and add more content regarding the Majin Buu Saga, which they actually may do for the 350 million download celebration. But until they do that, then he's going to be ranked a little bit lower, and it's not somebody I would, waste the Godstone on right away. Same thing with this character. Now, this character is very interesting. He's going to help you pass through some stuff, clear some content. He has an 80% damage reduction for 10 turns, and then if you're able to stun the target, which he has a 50% chance of stunning, he actually increases his attack by 120%. So that's not bad. But the 10 turn restriction is a little unfortunate. They kind of really liked that for Extreme Z Awakenings back in the day, giving them some kind of turn restriction. I'm not a huge fan of that. If you do need a tank for shorter events, he's your man, but he's not really usable on longer events. This Beerus is a fantastic Worthy Rivals team. Unfortunately, not a lot of people are going to be running Worthy Rivals. I do hope that they come out with a better Worthy Rivals lead, one who actually links decently with his party and not with a Namekian character, which is kind of mind-boggling. But they only have a 120% lead, and then this Piccolo. And this Piccolo, if you're not running Nail on the team, who's not even in Worthy Rivals, he's in Namekians. If you don't have Nail on the team, then the best that this guy does is link up with 2 people. Because he has 4 links, but he's only got 4 links with Pycon. And there's no good Pycon in the game, so you're not going to throw him on Worthy Rivals. So at best, he links up. He's got 2 links that he shares with everybody else. So that's why this guy's still early on. He's very good. Worthy Rivals, 2 key, attack and defense 30%, 100% defense and 50% chance of 200% attack. When that 200% attack comes in, he does decent amount of damage. He's okay defensively. He's a great support unit, but again, Worthy Rivals just isn't a team that you're going to bring along a lot. All right, let's move on to Super Saiyan 2 strength Gohan that I talked about a little bit earlier regarding the Goku. This dude does insane amounts of damage, attack and defense 77%, plus an additional 59% if you have Super Saiyan Goku attacking the same turn. So it does immense damage, which is huge, and also greatly raises attack when he's doing that immense damage. So he can do 3-4 million damage, like not a problem at all if you got that Super Saiyan Goku on there. The only thing is he's very linear, right? He just does damage. He doesn't really take that much in terms of defense. So that's why you got to put him a little bit earlier on in the list. This Nova Shenron, I swear, is going to be amazing. But right now you have to, you can't really rate him that highly because he gives himself 3 ki, 90% attack and defense, and he's a Shadow Dragon support 30%. And he stacks his attack for 6 turns. Like, all of that sounds fantastic. Unfortunately, Shadow Dragons is such a small category, no one runs it. It's got literally one actual leader, and then everybody else are just like crappy sub leads, right? Into something you'll never use. But like, this is just a tiny, look at that. That's all the URs, bro, and the LRs. That's all of them. That's ridiculous. And guess what? This guy and this guy are just the TUR versions of them two. Which is really sad. These two you can't run together on the same team. Like, you know, what are we doing here? If you have these two LRs, you can't use these two. This one and where's the strength one? Oh yeah, of course. I forgot that Goku is not on the Shadow Dragon arc. So really, it just boils down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 as a support unit. Like, maybe you could bring him. Like, what do you want to, you know what I mean? Him, I guess. Yeah, you would bring him for sure. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5. I don't know, 5. But I don't know what you would want to do. But that's the reason why you got to rate him lower, even though this looks clean. But if you don't have a big team to support that, then what's the point? I do believe they will be releasing better Shadow Dragon units as the game, you know, continues to go. But for now, he's on the lower end of the spectrum. Also on the lower end of the spectrum is this Super Saiyan 3 Goku. 70% defense, 120% attack for the first 7 turns from the start of turn. He's very good on shorter events. He's bad anything later. I probably should have put him lower on the list, but he does immense damage, which is always good. And he's got pretty darn good links with Super Saiyan Over in a Flash, Fierce Battle, Golden Warrior, all that stuff, right? But yeah, he does good damage for 7 turns, and then he's garbage. Going on to this Goten. This Goten I actually like. He changes physical orbs to rainbow, and he gives himself 70% attack and defense. He also stacks his defense by 30% for 3 turns. The main reason I put him up here is because he's an orb changer. Orb changers are always good in my opinion. I know I put the Android 13 super low, and he's an orb changer, but this dude actually links up well with a lot of different characters. You can put him next to Gohan. You can put him next to any LR Gohan. You can put him next to a bunch of Gokus. You can put him, you know what I mean? There's just a lot of characters that this young lad can go and buddy up next to and do very well and give him those rainbow orbs. So I'm digging the Goten. This Texel is not too shabby either. 15% attack defense per orb. Gains more ki when he grabs a rainbow, so it gets 2 ki when he grabs a rainbow, which is good. Causes immense damage, recovers 10% HP. Immense damage is always good. He can get decent attack and defense, especially if you have an orb changer right next to him, and his links are a whole lot better than that AGL Kid Buu that we looked at earlier. So he ain't bad. You can also put him next to some really good cells, right? Like the Intelligence LR cell and stuff like that. So not too bad. Tech Beerus limited because you need to put him next to someone like the LR Beerus. If you don't have the physical Beerus, this is the guy that you're going to use. But he's very strong. Attack and defense 80%. And then once he gets hit, he gets an additional 40% attack. And you have to keep in mind that is, I believe that's calculated separately. Yeah, so he actually gains 152% attack. And he hits pretty darn hard. That 1-2 combination of him and Strength Beerus is fantastic. So he's not bad at all. And then he has a rage mechanic. When you drop below 40% HP. Do they have it here? Oh, yeah, there it is. Beerus Enraged. at that point. The nice thing is that you only need 1 to 7 key, does extreme damage, 8 to 11 does supreme, and then 12 does immense damage, high chance to stun, which is really cool. Okay, so this physical full power Frieza is great. Stacks defense by 30% for 3 turns, 120% attack when he does a super, and then he gains 30% defense and 3 key as the first attacker in the turn. The 30% is a little bit low, but keep in mind he's going to be stacking his defense, which is very nice. And he just does a ton of damage, so he's very good. And his links are good, as are most cells, or most Friezas. Frieza and Coolers just have, like, always share the same links. It's fantastic. This Gogeta, old school but fantastic, 77% attack and defense, 7% attack for every rainbow orb. So you can even put him next to that Goten that I was talking about, and boom, there's your rainbow orb generator. Attacks effective against all types, so his damage is going to be absolutely insane. God tier links as well. This Trunks is fantastic. Key +2, 30% attack and defense for all allies. And if he's got 2 or more Vegeta's family allies on the team, he gets 70% attack and defense. That's fantastic. Not to mention, he gives all allies 30% attack when he's super attacked. So he's a very, very good pickup if you're in need of a support for Hybrid Saiyans, Future Saga, Time Travelers, Vegeta's family, Super Saiyans, Bottom Master's Disciple, or Revenge. He's fantastic on all those teams. His dad right here, kind of the opposite. Does the same thing with the super attack, gives everybody 30% attack, which is great. But he gives himself 2 key and 90% attack and defense. And then if you got those 2 Vegeta family units on there, he's going to give all allies 30% attack and defense. Won't give him the key, but does give himself does give everybody the attack and defense, which is great because he's the heavy hitter, still supports the team. Trunks is more of the support guy, can still hit decent. So both of them, fantastic pick. This Extreme Cooler, one of the best support characters in the game for extreme characters. Massively lowers defense, which is huge. So he's massively lowering the defense by 80% every single time he super attacks. He gives himself 50% attack and defense, and all allies 30%. So even if he's on a team with super characters, they're getting 30% attack. But if he's on a team with extreme characters, they're getting 40% defense and 3 key, which is absolutely amazing. And then again, his links are great, except for auto regeneration, unless if you're right next to like another, the LR Metal Cooler Army or something like that, right? But this dude is fantastic. Definitely a great pick. Definitely if you picked up a lot of extreme units. This Vegeta is superb. He stacks his attack and defense for 6 turns, so he keeps that buff for quite a long time. Attack and defense 90%, and every time he gets hit, he gains 15% defense up to 60%, and it's calculated separately again. So I'm just going to read this to you because this is pretty important. His additional defensive boost from his passive skill is calculated separately, as is the boost from his super attack. As a result, his maximum defensive boost from his passive is 204%, but it can reach 477% when including super attacks. With an additional super attack every single turn, he can reach a maximum of 751%. So that's pretty crazy, right? That's actually insane. It's pretty much saying, like, listen, if you do 3 super attacks in 3 turns, his defense is actually going to be 477%, which is wild. But if you do 2 super attacks every turn for 3 turns, his defense is going to be 751%. This dude could tank anything. He's absolutely insane. His damage isn't bad either with that 90% attack and the fact that he's scaling up his attack too. So he's very, very good. Fantastic choice. Another fantastic choice out of the last 3 that we have here, Super Saiyan Goku, another character you can bring along next to that Strength Gohan. This dude has a 70% chance of stunning the enemy when he super attacks. That's wild to me. That is absolutely wild to me. His passive skill gives himself 2 key, 80% attack and defense, not bad, but he's got a 50% chance of performing a crit, which is great. And if you drop below 50% HP, he jumps up to 3 key, 100% attack and defense, and now he's got a 70% chance of hitting a crit. Unbelievable. Like, just absolutely wild. This dude is fantastic. He should be one of your first pickups. Definitely one of your first pickups should also be this Intelligence Janemba. Talking about a mad lad, a monster. 70% attack and defense. He guards against all attacks. And when he gets hit, or if he dodges, his guard, which is active against all attacks, activates, and then he gains 25% dodge and an additional 40% attack for 4 turns. And as soon as it activates again, his guard activates again, it'll just refresh itself. So it doesn't stack, but it refreshes every 4 turn. And that 40% attack is calculated separately. So 138% is his total attack boost, which is fantastic. This dude is a beast, a beast, a beast, a beast. And he does a ton of damage since he does immense damage. It's absolutely insane. His links are fantastic for a Janemba type unit. Like, he's going to link perfectly with your Goku Blacks. He's going to link great with your Coolers, your Freezes, all those extreme type characters, right? So this dude is a top tier choice. Also, one of the best supports in the game, you have Physical Kid Buu. All allies 2 key and 50% attack and defense, which is insane as long as your HP is 80% or below, above. But even if it drops down below, everyone's still gaining 30% attack and defense. So he's very, very good. Again, I am not saying that he is the number 1 choice that you should pick. I actually think either Janemba or let's go over to the list here. I think Janemba should probably be your first choice. This Extreme Cooler should be up there. The Vegeta and the Trunks should be up there. This Goku should be up there. This Vegeta should be up there. Really, I'd say, you know, top 3, in my opinion, I'd probably go Janemba, Vegeta, and Goku. If you are someone who's new to the game and you need characters that are going to run you through stuff. And then I would probably go with like Gogeta, Cell, Tech Beerus, the Vegeta, the Trunks here, this Gohan, this Goten, Kid Buu for sure, you know, and then you can start working your way to the lower end of characters. But that's my opinion. If you agree with it or disagree with it, let me know in the comments below. I do read every single comment. Let me know also who you spend your God Dragonstone on. If you haven't subscribed to the video already, consider what you're doing with your life. Go ahead and gently rub that sub button, gingerly ring that bell button, lovingly kiss the like button. As always, this is Periodic. See y'all in the next video.